Hey everybody, it's Greg Miliadis from Streamline, and today I wanted to talk about a problem that I've seen a number of firms struggle with, and this is how most firms quote-unquote manage their payables. Generally they do it in one of two ways. The first way is a way that I call the fishing expedition, which basically means that you have to dig through ProLaw to research each and every payable unless they're really small payables. But basically it's a very time-consuming, tedious process, and you dig through ProLaw, look in Ledger to see if it's been billed to the client yet and if the client has paid you yet, and then only and then do you actually release the payment to the vendor. That's the first method. Again, it's fishing expedition. You end up doing a lot of tedious digging around in ProLaw. The second method that I've seen firms do is what I would term the pay and pray method, which basically means it's actually a really quick way to do it, but basically what it means is that you pay every payable that comes in. And then you hope that your clients are going to pay you back and reimburse you for those costs, the cash that you've paid out. Now, obviously, both ways have serious problems. With the fishing expedition method, it's extremely time-consuming, it's very tedious, it's got a big potential for manual error. You may forget to enter payables or forget to bill them, forget to follow up to make sure that you got paid or reimbursed from the client so that you can release those payments. And obviously, the staff time that is spent on this could be put to much better use. With the pay and pray method, basically your cash flow can take a huge hit and get depleted by even a couple large payables. And of course, when you pay out that cash, your clients may or may not reimburse you, and even if they do reimburse you, it may take months to collect. But fortunately, there's a better way. What I did is I saw this problem and created a hard cost payables manager tool, which basically is a really fast, really easy way to manage all your payables. You use it and you can see exactly which payables are ready to pay. And by that, I mean you can see exactly which payables have been invoiced to the client and which those clients have paid in full. So let's take a look and see how it actually works in action. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is just in journals, and I've run a query for checking, and on hold, these are all the payables that are ready to be reviewed. And we're going to just pretend that I'm going to use the fishing expedition method on a couple of these just to show you what's involved. So I've just chosen one of the payables here. I can look at the transaction. I see that there's a transaction entered, of course, for it. So I'm going to go into transactions and look to see if it's been billed. It's got a statement number attached to it, so I'm going to see if it has been billed. I'm going to copy that statement number to my clipboard because ProLaw is kind of goofy about this. If I hotkey to Ledger from transactions, it won't actually take me to that statement number. I have to type that in that way. So I can actually see, I can look and see what's been paid here, and I've just ordered it by hard cost paid. And it looks like this is the particular hard cost amount for, if I switch back to transactions, this transaction here. So I can see that this transaction has been paid in full. This payable has been paid in full. So far, so good for that one. Took us a little while to do it, but again, you can see I've got a ton. If you can look at the scroll bar there, I've got a ton of payables. If I just look at another one here at random, I'm going to hotkey again over to transactions. Looks like it's been billed. Now let's see if it's been paid. So again, we zip over into Ledger. We're going to input its statement number, and I'm just going to look and see. Okay, so this looks like it's been billed, but it hasn't been paid by the client yet. So this particular payable, if I go back to journals, I shouldn't release that yet if I want to conserve my cash flow. So again, it took us a few minutes just for these two transactions, these two journal entries. But of course, if you've got dozens or hundreds or thousands, it's going to take an awfully long time for this fishing expedition method. Of course, if you want to do pay and pray, that's really fast. You just print everything and print all the checks and release the money. But of course, your cash flow is going to take a big hit. So the alternative to this is my hard cost accounts payable manager tool. And it's a very simple tool. You'll just enter in the start date, end date for the time period in which you want to look at the journal entries, click refresh data, and you get an immediate list of all of the journal entries, all the payables that are ready to pay. And you can see here, there are a few that are ready to pay, some that are not ready to pay. You can see what the entry amount was, whether it's been paid by the client, and also whether it's been billed to the client. And of course, if the paid amount and the billed amount are the same, that means that it's ready to be paid. So then how do you look and see whether, so you've got a list of all these ready to pay journal entries. And if I just go here, I can see all the ones that are ready to pay. The easy thing about this, of course, is that you can come here and on the Queries tab, just copy and paste this query from here into Journals. So rather than using that, I use this, and here are all the ones that are ready to pay. They've been invoiced to the client, they've been paid in full by the client, so I'm ready to release these funds to the vendors. You'll also notice that there's one entry here that's possibly ready to pay. That means that it may have been split, so we can look at that and peruse that and see what's going on there. And so it's split across a number of different transactions, and that's why it's potentially ready to pay. So if I looked at and dug into there, I could see whether this has actually been paid in full, this $2,010 amount. And if so, then I can pay it. But it's much, much easier, as you can see, to just copy and paste a query into Journals to see which ones are ready to pay, and super fast to be able to query it and then pay them out. Okay, so like you just saw in the demo here, there's a much better way to manage your payables. Using the Hard Cost Payable Manager, it's super fast, super easy, and it tells you exactly which payables are ready to pay just in a matter of a minute or so. Hopefully you're going to stop using the fishing expedition, wasting a bunch of your time, or the pay and pray method. You're going to free up your accounting staff time for more important tasks like producing the reports that the managing partners have been wanting, and also protecting your cash flow, which of course is key in any business. So again, the Hard Cost Payable Manager is a much better way to do it. If you're interested in getting more information, just call me or email me and get details on it. I'm happy to talk to you about any questions. I've had a number of clients who've installed this, and they found it to be a great tool for both saving time and also conserving cash flow for their firm. So if you're interested, just give me a call, shoot me an email, and let's talk.